Welcome to our Loving Your Pets Naturally presentation. My name is Crystal and I am delighted to have two beautiful women with me today, Amanda and Sarah from Belvie Oils, who are two divine fur mamas, also a goat mama at some stage. And Sarah and Amanda have a wealth of information to share with you. So I am just so delighted that you've been able to make it today. Feel free to be taking photos throughout as well of the slides. So where I'm going to begin is at our wellness pyramid. And our wellness pyramid is our foundation that doTERRA gives us to help us establish where we're at in our wellness lifestyle. So the reason why I'm showing you the wellness pyramid is because we're actually going to show you how easy it is to actually convert this over to a pet pyramid, which is pretty cool. But just really quickly, just use this moment to look at where you're at the moment in where's your investment of energy into these parts of your lifestyle. So we've got eat right, exercise, rest and manage stress, reducing toxic load. These are all foundational elements to outstanding wealth of health. And when we move up that chain from reducing toxic load, we then see informed self-care. So that's being able to go to your essential oil box when a need comes up, the same way that we're going to show you how to do that for your pets. And then, of course, proactive medical care is when you seek the advice of a practitioner. So I'm going to hand it over to Sarah and Amanda to show you how simple it is to look at your, hey baby, your pet's wellness through the eyes of the pyramid.
Thank you. Thanks, Crystal. As always, such a pleasure to be here and share with you how we love to use essential oils in our daily life with our family. So just so you know, Sarah and I both, we don't actually have human children. So our pets are not just another animal in our world, but they really are our children. And we have used this model of the pyramid to really look after all of our needs. The other thing we wanted to state is, just like most of you who maybe have started a journey in doTERRA of using the products, we're not veterinarians. We are just simple fur mamas that really want to look after our baby's needs and health. So, you know, there's always a time to reflect up to people in practices that may know more than us. So please don't think that we're trying to take over the health advice of someone else who's a little bit more qualified. However, let's get into this. So this is where you're just going to go into the chat box and we're going to have a look at some of those comments at the end of our presentation. But who here has pets already in their home? And if you'd like to, maybe you would also like to just add a comment whether it is a fur baby or if it is just a pet, and there's no judgment either way, because I think all pets are actually fur babies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then what type of pet is it? So in our presentation, we're really going to be focusing on two types of pets, and that's going to be cats and dogs. So they're our most domesticated animals, and it's the animals that we have experience with, and that's what we're here to do, is to share our experience. So thanks for making those comments. And what I'd like to bring up is, have you ever noticed how an animal will instinctively take care of themselves? So perhaps the answer is yes, and maybe you've not really thought about it until I mention some of these things. And that would be, if an animal is not feeling well, the first place they seek is warmth, and that would be from sun. They'll go and find their sunny spot. Another thing that they may do is they'll eat grass. Perhaps it's to help move their bowels or to do a regurgitation.
My dog likes to eat charcoal out of our fire.
Yeah, she does. And she likes to eat grass. And sometimes they eat grass just for the sake of it, right? And then another way they do it would be scratching into the dirt and lying in a flower bed. And in my previous cat's life, she used to go and lie under either a lavender or a rosemary bush. So maybe what you're noticing here is that animals have that instinct to go to nature to get support. So isn't it incredible that we have a product that is safe for them to use? And this is how we're going to share it in our pet wellness pyramid. So as you may know, if you've already studied the last pyramid we showed you, the categories are pretty similar. We've just made it a little bit more fun. And more specifically around self-selection up at the top, which is where Crystal said you would go to your oil box and collect the oil that you need. But I've not yet had my dog go to my oil box and choose it out. But we're going to show you how that can actually happen. And then the top tier is when we like to partner with practitioners that are going to really have that more specific need that our animal has. So we generally prefer to go to a natural vet. Now, they're a little few and far between, but they're definitely worth looking up. All right. So today, even though we have amazing products that look at that entire pyramid and we could spend forever talking about them, we're going to hone in today and talk about two categories, which is rest and manage stress, as well as reducing toxic load. Because if you start here, a lot of the other things can then start to fill out as you're looking through that pyramid.
So we're going to look at how do we use the oils with our pets, just like you would use them with yourself. So aromatically is the first way that we use the oils. And with our pets, the preferred way to use aromatically, just like you said, they don't go to your oil box. I don't see them going to a bottle and rubbing it and cupping it in their paws. So diffusing is our preferred method aromatically. Then topically, so we're going to share more about this later on, and internally in their food.
So as with everything, we always want to look at safety first. So this is where Sarah is full of facts and figures and interesting information. So Sarah, would you please share with the group what is so fascinating about aromatic?
Aromatic. So think about this. Your dog has 300 million receptors, or olfactory receptors, that in their smell. A cat has 80 million olfactory receptors, and guess how many we have?
I know, tell them.
6 million. So if you think about it, the little part of their brain, their nose, whatever, that analyzes that smell, a dog has 40 times more than a human, and a cat has 20 times more than a human. So aromatically, they can smell so well.
Yeah.
And it's so heightened.
So because of that, when you are going to do an aromatic type of diffusing around them, it's very important to make sure that they're in a well-ventilated room, which means that there is either airflow coming through or there is an escape route. So you've got the door open for them to leave if it becomes too intense for them. When it comes to topical application, well, we've got 3 words, and no matter which way you look at it, it is about dilution. So we're going to share in the next screen a little dilution ratio for you, but this is probably our most important safety tip. And then when it comes to an internal application, well, the best way to do an internal application is to mix it well within the food of your animal. And we also like to put some oil with that. It doesn't have to be a carrier oil. What it could be would be like an avocado oil or an olive oil or a coconut oil that you can just add as a stirring mechanism, just to spread the flavor around, because who likes to eat something like just a big clump of oil or, you know, of even salt in your food? I know there's some people that really enjoy salt. So as we mentioned, here's our dilution guide, and it's really just based off of creating your own 10 ml rollerball. So, you know, there's the difference between under and over 10 kilos, and then the differences between mild and hot oils. So the milder oils, as you would know from using it with yourself, sometimes you can use more than 1 drop, but with the hotter oils, this is really important that you don't overdo it. I always like to give the example of if you're cooking and you're making a chili-based meal, it's very difficult to take that chili out of the meal than it is rather to add more if you need more enhancement. So we always suggest start low, and then if you need to add more, if you're not getting the desired result you're after. And just for those of you that may not know, FCO stands for fractionated coconut oil. So when it comes to a topical application with dilution, I have mentioned about the roller ball, but sometimes you don't always have a roller ball on hand. So the other thing you could do is just put some into your hand, a fractionated coconut oil, and then just 1 drop of the oil that you're going to be using. So here we're going to show a video of my dog Bear, who loves the beach, loves his ball, loves to run, loves to swim. He's very active, and I always want to make sure that his joints, his muscles, his tendons and his ligaments are being well supported after such an intensity, because he likes to do this every single day. So, and the oil that I'm using with him in the video is Aroma Touch. Here we go.
All right, so the next section that we're going to be talking about is actually introducing the oils to your pets. So I've experienced 2 different ways, or 2 different experiences with my pets. So last year we lost a beautiful border collie, Peggy. She was 14 and a half. We lost her, but we also have a 2-year-old border collie now. So we had 2 experiences with introducing the oils to those dogs. Peggy, I didn't use essential oils until she was about 11 years old. Now, she really didn't like smells or anything on her, and I think it's because we sort of forced sunscreen on her nose because we didn't want it to get burnt, and we put flea and tick treatment on her that had a strong smell. So she used to really be adverse to that. So when introducing the oils to her, we had to go very gently and very just give her some time to realize that these are okay. With Winnie, as soon as she entered our home, we were using essential oils. So it's 2 very different experiences. So here we go. This was on our pyramid at the beginning, self-selection. So there are lots of different oils that you can use for the same thing. So we like to give our pets the choice. What we like to do is put a couple in front of them. It can be in your hand or on the ground, and get them to go up and select the oil that they like. And while doing this, it's very important to keep the cap on, because as we talked before, their sense of smell is so much greater than ours. And don't worry, they will be able to smell it, and they will tell you whether they like it or not. So very importantly, you need to observe their behavior. So when they're introduced to the oil, watch their body language. Are they licking their lips? Are they shaking their head? Is their tail between their legs? Are their ears back? Or do they actually run away? So that's really important. And watch their behavior after you apply the oil or after you diffuse something. That's really important. So we're going to watch a video. This is Peggy and Bear, and this was a couple of years ago. We did a cool, fun little video on whether they like frankincense or myrrh. So watch how we introduce the oils, and also watch their response to it. Frankincense for the win. Always wins.
All right, so let's dive into these categories now of rest and manage stress. So what is the importance of resting? Well, if you don't already know this, your body does amazing things for you, and half of that time you're not even aware of it. But sometimes it needs some recovery time, and that's when you're usually sleeping, that it's able to do its best work where you are not using your brain or using your adrenaline system or your nervous system to interfere with that. So on average, most humans look for about 8 hours of rest per day. dogs, you know, I mentioned this earlier when I had Bear as a puppy, as an 8-week-old puppy. I was really worried because he was sleeping so much that I had to Google and just double check that it was okay and that I was not, you know, being a bad mother for the first time. But dogs actually get to sleep around 16 hours per day. And then, of course, our top winner would be the cat. So cats sleep between 18 to 20 hours a day. And I don't know if you know about cats, but generally they are awake when you are wanting to sleep.
Very true.
And sometimes that doesn't make for a very restful time for any of us. So we know that we've got a fantastic product in our doTERRA kit called lavender. And lavender is going to promote the benefits of sleeping. And a year ago, we went down to convention in Sydney and we stayed with a friend of mine who's got this adorable cat, Simba. And we're just going to show you Simba's response to the first time meeting lavender. So we didn't even take that cap off and Simba just went for it like it was catnip. He was in love with lavender and he ended up sleeping on our bed, which was really quite interesting because he doesn't normally do that. So he slept with us for almost half the night. So it has an effect on them as well. Generally at night when I put lavender on the soles of my feet and give it a quick rub, I use that excess and then put it down Bear's back because he actually sleeps in bed with me too. So
spoiled doggy. All right, another area that is very important to manage is the stress of our pets. So just like us, pets can get really stressed. Now, Peggy, my older dog, used to get so fretting when there was a storm, and this is very common. You find many dogs run away when there's storms because of she used to go into the cupboard and pant and be very, very worried. She was stressed with vacuum cleaners and also with the garbage truck. With Winnie, stressed not so much with loud noises, but she gets overexcited. Now that also can be another stress on their body if they're constantly in a state of excitement. And that could happen with young children at home, you know, pulling tails or jumping on top of them. It could be, you know, introducing a cat into your home or another dog, people arriving at the door, or even taking them out for a walk somewhere, you know, in unusual environments. So why is it important to manage stress? Because they also need to balance their emotional state for their wellness.
And this is really where, you know, balancing an emotional state really talks to the similarities between the human race and the animal race. And that's why we are akin to these animals so much, because specifically the research out there of how similar they are in terms of expressing and feeling emotions. So our top oils that we like to use with our animals are on the top layer there. So they're definitely your go-tos. But, you know, as we've said before, there are multiple oils for multiple purposes. So don't be, shy to try other oils like the lavender peace copaiba or even peace with your animals. And as we've already showed, just laying a few out, and don't overwhelm them. Don't put 6 oils down. Take 2, maybe 3, and then allow them to choose in that orientation, because just like us, we have our preferences and they will choose what is best for them.
Yep.
But when in doubt,
yeah, he likes frankincense.
Everyone likes frankincense. Yep. So as we mentioned, your animal's life. So having a diffuser blend going is really good. And this could be, you know, at times of when stress is around, like if you're having a gathering or something like this could be a great blend to put
home,
on.
Separation anxiety.
Yeah, all sorts of different things. Or if you're just looking for a restful night.
Exactly. All right, the next section we're going to be talking about is reducing the toxic load. And this is why I decided to use doTERRA. I was on out a lot of the cleaning products and maybe shampoos and things like that. But I just couldn't give up my perfumes and my, you know, deodorants. I just couldn't find any replacement until I found the beautiful essential oils. So just think, if it's harming us, it's harming them. So we should be really thinking about reducing the toxins in the lives of our pets. They spend most of the time lying on the floor. Cats are very interesting. They like to jump up on benches. My cat drinks out of the sink. She drinks out of the toilet bowl. It's you try and Google cats drinking out of toilet bowls. It's very common. So think about what products you're using. Bear, I know Amanda's dog loves to hang out in the shower with his little ball, and his little paws are absorbing whatever is on the floor. They don't have shoes and socks to protect them. They lick everything. They're so curious. So think about all of those toxins that are going into their body. Now, in our low tox living home, these are our top choices. Definitely number one. For cleaning anything, the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. We use it on our floors, our bathroom, our toilets, our kitchen, everywhere, and we know that it's safe. This is an area that I didn't really think about for a little while, and that was laundry detergent. Now think about, where are they lying? Bear sleeps in Amanda's bed. So if you think about what is she using to clean her sheets? You know, I cuddle my dog all the time. So what are we using to wash our clothes? What are you using to wash your dog's bedding? That is important. There's toxins hidden everywhere. Now, lemon oil is a great choice as well. I use a few drops of that in my floor cleaner when I'm mopping the floors, and it's nice and refreshing. And we know that it's not going to harm their little bodies. Low tox living body. What do we put in them? This is a really, really big topic, and that is fleas and ticks. We all, especially living in Australia, I know ticks and fleas can be quite rampant, especially in summertime. Now this blend here, if you haven't seen it before, is also called Terra Shield in the American office, but it is our outdoor blend. Years ago, I was using flea tablets for my dog Peggy, and I knew that within half an hour, the fleas would drop off her body after I used those tablets. And it was an eye-opener for me one day, thinking, what is it doing inside her body? What toxins are going in there to make such a dramatic effect? And it wasn't until we sort of went to a natural vet presentation, and they said that, yeah, the fleas and tick treatment that they give every day to dogs can be highly toxic, and I've seen a lot of damage done. So this is our choice. One thing I will say though, that you won't be applying every 6 months. This will be something that you'll be doing 2 to 3 times a week. So you do have to keep on top of it more. You will be checking more, but you know, for me, that is more important. So we're going to show you a video of Amanda and Bear, and this is just a little demo of how she applies Terra Armour to her puppy Bear.
Let's do our video. Okay. Ready? Hi everyone. If you've got animals, some of the most common things we think about helping them out is through the tick and flea season. So we've got a great product with doTERRA that's safe to use on our animals called Terra Shield. So what we do is, this is a spray bottle, so it's already diluted, and we're just going to spray it into the hand, let the dog smell it or cat smell it, and then we're just going to rub along the back surface of the coat. Don't go. And then we're also going to rub just underneath the underarm area and around the back of the legs. These are those common areas where you can get those little mites coming through. And then we also want to rub just into the paws line. So good boy. And we're just going to rub in between the toes, so that that's really where some of those ticks usually like to go and sit. And then once that's all done, we throw the ball and off you go! Yay!
If your animal is a little averse to having the oil put on them, would be to spray some on their collar. So at least then it's around their collar, and I usually soak it for some time in a water bath, or if I'm rushing out the door to the beach, or then I'll quickly spray it with them, you know, as I go. So now as we're heading into our winter season, remember we're always looking to promote the immune system and our respiratory system and looking after us in all sorts of ways. So here's another great diffuser blend for you to be using for your entire family's health over this upcoming season. So we want to thank you again for your time, and again thank you, Crystal, for offering for us to share this information with you all. We absolutely adore what we do with our baby dogs and cats, and you know, we've got plenty of information on how we use it more in other ways. And if you'd like to connect with us or find us on our different social platforms, please do so. But I'm going to hand back to Crystal now.